Okay, so we'll start off with where you were born, when and where.
In Illinois, Paola, Illinois,
Okay, and what year?
1937.
1937. Okay, and then can you describe your parents and what they were like?
They were farmers, and we always lived on a farm and stuff, and had cows and chickens and horses and pigs, always pigs.
Yeah. So how did you guys end up in Indiana? How long were you in Illinois?
I was about 3 months old when we moved here.
Okay.
And I had other relatives that lived there, his mom and dad, and a couple sisters.
Yeah. And then now, can you tell us how many siblings you had and their names? Siblings? Brothers, sisters?
There were 7 of us, so 6 siblings.
Can you go through by oldest to youngest?
Yeah. Marie was the oldest, and she was 4 years older than Dwayne, which he was the second one, but their birthdays were on the same day.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah.
And then I was the third one, and so in a big family like that, and we weren't rich or nothing, you know, but we had plenty to eat and stuff like that, but so we weren't really poor either, but you just didn't do as much back in those days. You know, money didn't mean that much because you didn't have it. Everything cost something, you know. So, but things weren't that expensive like they are now. But you didn't have that much money either as you do now, and stuff. So it was quite different.
So you said you were the third.
And then Norman was next, and me and him were really close growing up because we had to take care of each other and while everybody was working on the farm, and we'd carry water to them and stuff, you know, and everything. So we got along real good and did some work together, you know, like watering the chickens and stuff like that. And he had he was really good, and I got along good with him, you know, and stuff. And then when I was in school, young grade, I couldn't wait to get home because me and him played a lot together too and stuff, and I'd tell him what I did at school and all that stuff, and he was cooperative, you know, wanting to hear the stuff, you know, and everything. But when he started the school, he wouldn't hardly talk to me when he come home and stuff because he was a big shot then, you know, big boy. And so we did, but we stayed close, but we didn't play and stuff like we had, you know, because I wanted to share everything with him, but he didn't want to share nothing. He had boyfriends then, you know. When you live in the country like we did, you don't have close friends like you do if you live in town, and when you're going to school and stuff, you stay with those kids, you know, and see them a lot. But it was mainly just family or your closest neighbor, you know, if they had kids and stuff. But and then the next one was Melvin, and we took care of them little ones a lot because Mom was always helping outside and stuff, and we always canned a lot, so she was always busy and stuff. So each one of the kids as they come along would help take care of the other kids, and then Marvin was the next one. So Marvin and Melvin was really close and stuff, and then it was 4 years between Marvin and Jenny, and it was strange because the first 2 kids we're 4 years apart,
Yeah.
you know, and then, but Jenny was the youngest one and stuff, so us older ones kind of was closer to her than
Yeah.
Mom was always busy with other things and stuff, so it was fun.
Sounds like a lot of work, too.
And experiences and stuff was farm life.
Mhm. So what was your childhood home like? Like the house you grew up in?
What?
The house you grew up in, what was it like?
It was a big
farmhouse?
country house,
Mhm.
2-story.
Did you have to share like room with a couple others of your brothers and sisters? Or?
Me and my oldest sister shared a room, and then because we had 4 rooms upstairs, and then the boys, as they grew up, had the other 2 rooms and shared them and stuff. So we always had a lot of action and playing, and
Yeah.
we played a lot of outside games.
Big yard.
Yeah,
farm
big
to
yard
run around,
and stuff, and we had one neighbor family that had about the same age kids as us, and so we'd all get together and play outside and scare each other and stuff, and we usually made homemade ice cream at night like that, and the parents would play cards and stuff.
Nice.
So we had a lot of activity for country.
Yeah. Well, 7 of you. I'm sure there's always something going on. Can you talk about some of your earliest memories? It could be of school, or it could have been just at home, just anything that you can remember that you think would be some of your earliest memories from childhood.
I really liked school, and I liked going to school, and so we had a lot of time. We rode buses out in all the way around. It took a while to get to school.
Long route.
And it was really cold then.
Yeah.
You know, our winters were big snows and really cold.
Yeah.
And stuff, but I like the summer weather better.
Yeah. Summers are
And
fun.
a lot of farm stuff to do and everything. But I liked the school and meeting all the kids and stuff, and we would be in 4-H and different things.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we'd, me and this one friend of mine would walk to the town where we considered that our hometown, and for the meetings and stuff.
Yeah, I bet that was fun. Was there any activity that you can remember, like your family doing for fun? You mentioned like playing cards, but was there something you guys all did together as a family, routinely for fun?
The what?
Like, was there anything that you remember you as a family doing together for fun? Was there like a certain vacation you guys ever went on, or was there every Sunday we played cards, or we listened to the radio every Sunday, or whatever you guys may have done for fun as a family?
We played cards some, but we most generally, as growing up, you know, we played outside and stuff, and had friends. If anybody came, they usually had kids about our age and stuff. And our relatives were always in farms away from us too, you know, so they would, we'd visit them and they'd visit us, you know.
Yeah, nice. Okay. All right, so now we're into our next category, which is growing up. So these are gonna be more questions about when you were growing up, like school age questions. So in school, what was your school like? First of all, like class size, what do you remember from school? And then what was your most enjoyed subject? What were you the best at in school that you liked the most?
I liked all of it from the beginning to the end. I loved writing, and I always collected any tablets or paper that I could get hold of and would draw pictures and stuff. And I took a lot of pains in that, and the teacher would have me make another pattern, for things when we had art and stuff. We would make patterns for everybody to use
And you helped
stuff.
the teacher do that?
And she'd always have me do it because I could do it real neat and stuff.
I believe that. That's good. What was the name of your grade school?
Deputy,
Just elementary?
just deputy grade school and deputy high school.
Okay. And then how many people, do you remember how many people you had in your classes, like when you were growing up? They're pretty small, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, we had 2 classes in each room when I was small, starting out, 1st and 2nd grade, and the same teacher had them. So you had classes, and then the other kids would have classes, and you would be reading or doing what you practicing stuff, while they were having classes. But we had to behave. There wasn't a lot of
horsing around.
no, you had to, and you had to mind and obey, because there was no way that they could took care of that many kids. And there was about 20 of us in a class.
That's bigger than I thought.
And all the way through grade school, we had about 20 in each class, but it would dwindle down some as each year went on, like you might just have 14 or something, and stuff. But each class, by the time they got through 8th grade and stuff, usually had it would get more down in the teens, as we got older and stuff. But it was, you had a lot of respect for your teacher, and you had a lot of, and they did things that was fun and kept you busy and stuff, and it was, everybody behaved good. And they did have rules about things you got sent to the office, sent to the principal for. And so they had quite a bit of organization in school then.
Now, did you ever get sent to the principal?
Did I ever?
Get sent to the principal?
No.
I knew the answer to it. I just wanted
No, I minded the teacher good, and I did everything I was supposed to until I got in the 7th grade, and we had a man teacher when I was in the 7th grade, and we kind of acted up a little bit. The whole class would, and kind of aggravate him. But he was a nice teacher, and we all passed through the grade.
Okay. So can you talk about what it was like when your family celebrated Christmas or special occasions when you were growing up? What that was like?
Yeah, we always were excited about Christmas and stuff, and we all would tell what we wanted and everything, and my dad was kind of a carpenter too, so he built things for each one of us and stuff, and he made me a doll rocker bed once and stuff, and Mom was good at sewing and stuff too, so we got a lot of homemade stuff and everything. But we always had a good Christmas, and they would get big bags of oranges and stuff, to last a while, and apples and stuff we had plenty of food and plenty of stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But at Christmas, we'd always get a big stalk of bananas. It was, I remember too, that had, you know, 2 or 3, at least 2 or 3 stalks of bananas on it. And but we had a lot of fruit and stuff in the garden too, you know, apple trees and peach trees and grapes and a whole harbor of grapes.
Yeah. Nice. I bet those were good.
And stuff like that. But so we had plenty of food, and I guess you're known for that if you ever live on a farm.
Yeah.
But I know we had a lot more than some people, and we had a lemon tree and the grapes. I remember that because we'd always pick grapes and and you had there was a big vine of them through the on post and wire, and they run along that, you know, as they grew and stuff, and then there'd be a space ever so far where you could climb up and sit on the post or something and pick them. But also snakes got up there sometimes too. And you'd get out of there as fast as you could. But it wasn't real scary because you watched for stuff like that because you're used to it.
So can you, do you remember like any games or activities you enjoyed as a kid? Was there any certain game that you loved? Could have been a board game, could have been kickball, tag, hide and seek, anything that you guys played all the time and that you loved.
We always played games, always, you know, when we was together and wasn't having to do any work or anything on the weekends and of an evening and stuff. And we played handy high over, where you threw a ball over the house to, and the others on the other side would catch it and throw it back to you.
But you couldn't see it coming, right?
Right.
Because they're throwing it on the other side, so you don't see it coming.
No.
Until it's over the roof.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds like fun.
And then we would play hide and seek, and that's really good in the evening, you know, and stuff. And sometimes we would scare littler kids, you know, when it was dark. If we had to hide, you know, and stuff, we'd jump out and scare them. But we played all kinds of games like that, and we'd play ball too and stuff, but we didn't have real good bats and things like they had as we grew up and stuff, but we'd get a good stick, you know, that was heavy enough to hit the ball and stuff, but they didn't last good, and they didn't hit the ball as good as the bats that was bought.
Right.
And we had a rim put up on the end of the barn, you know, to play basketball.
Yeah. That's good. Wow.
And stuff, and skip rope. We skipped rope and stuff a lot, and different kinds of things that was organized, you know, where you could jump rope and different things. Hold the rope and make it higher, you know, so you had to jump higher.
Now, do you remember like getting that basketball rim? Do you remember when it got installed? That had to be somewhat of a big deal, I'm assuming.
Yeah, the older boys were probably about 10 or 12 when we first got it and stuff.
Now, did your dad put it up? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, that's awesome. Can you talk about like how religion and your family, how your religious beliefs, like how religion affected your family and your growing up?
We had a church that was pretty close to us it was a Baptist church, and we could walk to it if we had to, you know, but we usually, somebody was driving as the kids got older and stuff. And Mom never did learn to drive, but
She never drove a car ever. You don't remember her ever?
she drove a tractor, but she didn't drive a car or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then she never did. And then, and the church had a bus that came around and picked up people. If you went regularly, you could always get picked up.
Now that had to be pretty exciting too, right?
What?
That had to be pretty fun and exciting.
Yeah, that
too,
was
right?
fun too.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of kids that we all knew and stuff. And we'd have picnics and stuff after church and stuff sometimes. And when we'd have a baptism, it would be in the creek.
Mm-hmm. Really? Wow. Yeah.
And the whole church went down there and stuff. And
And do you remember, like, you had to be at church and you had to go to Sunday school? Like, it was not an option. It was something you were just part of your life. You were just going to have to do it.
Nobody ever. Daddy wasn't very religious, and Mom had been raised where her dad was quite a bit active in the church and stuff, and she thought as soon as the doors were open, you should be there no matter what day it was and stuff. And so she was raised that way and stuff. And she liked going to church and stuff. So she usually went when the bus came to, and us kids all went.
And she rode the bus with you guys? Was it the bus for adults and kids?
Yeah.
I'm assuming all the kids went to the back. Is that right? The kids go to the back of the bus and the adults would sit up front?
Yeah, or some families would all sit together,
Yeah.
you know, and stuff. But mostly the kids wanted to sit by themselves
Yeah.
and stuff. But and the bus driver would sing songs and stuff,
Oh,
and so
really?
everybody'd sing and stuff. So it was fun.
Yeah, that does sound like a good time. Okay, and so we're moving into the next category. This will be adulthood and your family life. So think of this post-graduation. You're out of high school now.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So how did you and Jimmy meet?
Well,
Can you share like any part of your early love story or romance with Jimmy? How you guys met? How you decided to get married and start a family? Like all that stuff.
so, okay. Well, we met because my best friend in school was his cousin.
Okay. So you were set up.
And so
Yeah.
when we would go someplace or do something, then he was invited too, you know, and stuff because of her, you know, and stuff. And so
Now were these occasions like where you just showed up and he was there, or was this, hey, I want you to come because I want you to meet Jim and you guys can go out?
it wasn't set up like that.
Okay.
No, we just wound up being at the same place sometime. And we had, this is unusual with the way things are today, but we had a free show at the school yard at nighttime and stuff.
Like they would bring out a projector and they would project it on the wall, or?
Yeah, and it's some kind. It was out in the yard in the summertime, and there was hills, you know, where we could sit, you know, and stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
And so there'd be big groups there and stuff. And him and his friend came one night when we had that after I'd met him, you know, and stuff. So we all talked and stuff. But a lot of people congregated at them free movies.
Oh,
And it was always fun. And they had somebody that had a food wagon or something that they had the stuff you get, popcorn and stuff that you get at movies and stuff. And so we would always get stuff at that free movie, but it was the regular. You had them every weekend, you know, and stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes through the week.
Yeah.
Like on Wednesday night or
Right.
something, and so it sounds like we had a lot of action and
Yeah, it does.
fun.
Yeah. That's good. And so you would say that those movies probably played a huge part in your relationship with him, right? In building that relationship.
Yeah.
Early on, right?
What?
That helped build your relationship. It sounds like you guys spent a lot of time at
Right.
those movies. And,
Right.
Yeah.
And we'd everybody would congregate there and sit together and stuff, you know.
Do you remember like the first time he asked you out, where it wasn't with just a big group?
It was probably him and me and his cousin
Yeah.
and her boyfriend and stuff, but we never we'd go to movies or go skating or something like that, but or go to somebody else's house, you know, and stuff. And he didn't have a car when he was real young, so it was always with other people.
Right.
And there was a few of them that did have cars, and
Makes sense. Yeah.
we'd go places or
Yeah.
ride downtown to the restaurant kind of where they congregated and they ate and got pop and stuff.
You guys going on adventures and car rides and different vacations. Do you have any special ones that stand out?
By the time the kids were getting big enough to do things and want to do things, Mom and Daddy had moved to Spencer, and so we could, when we got to go up there and stuff, it was kind of like a vacation.
Yeah.
But we didn't go and stay overnight very often, but we would go up and visit for the day and stuff, and on holidays sometimes.
Yeah.
And all the kids would go and stuff.
That's good. Good. Okay. So we're changing categories, and these are going to be like changes that have happened over time, not with you personally, but just the world in general. Okay. The first one is, what major historic events do you remember, and how did they affect your life?
There was a couple times that the president would go by train down near our house.
Oh, really?
And we could go watch the train go by, and
Yeah.
he'd wave and everything.
Wow. Do you remember which president in particular?
See, I did know which one. I can't. I think it was Woodrow.
Wilson?
Roosevelt. Yeah.
Roosevelt? Wilson?
Yeah.
Truman, maybe after that?
What?
Truman, maybe after that?
I think there was another time that somebody went. And it was Eisenhower.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a big deal. Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember like World War II and that stuff affecting like home life?
World War II. There was a depression after that, and that's when I was small.
Really?
Yeah, and so there was a lot of rations on stuff and everything, but we just dealt with it. Mom and Daddy dealt with it like everything else. You know, you'd have to save the stamps and stuff, and just it was mainly on gas and sugar, and seems like there was something else. But they had to be, could only get so much at a time and stuff, so you had to have the ration stamps and save for it, you know, and know where you could get it bought and by using the stamps and stuff. But and I was not very old during that. I can't remember exactly how old I was, but I can remember us things having to be rationed and stuff, and sugar and stuff like that.
And to take it really seriously, I'm sure, right? And take it serious, and keeping track of what you had and what you could get.
And what you didn't waste and stuff. But see, we lived on a farm, and that made a big difference too, because we didn't have to buy as much stuff as a lot of people did.
Yeah, but that did help a lot. Can you talk about how things have changed in terms of like family life? What maybe what you experienced in your lifetime as when you were growing up to what you see now with families today?
It was, we were probably more saving then, you know, and didn't try to do everything that you would ordinarily do if you didn't have to save and watch, you know, your expenses and stuff. But it really didn't affect us a whole lot, you know, because we started out by knowing what you had to do, and we did it, you know, and stuff, so it wasn't too much different. But I think that we have more of a problem with the big expenses and stuff now than we did then.
Yeah.
But we probably didn't do as much or buy as much, you know.
Right. Okay. Can you talk about your first job? Do you remember that?
Besides babysitting.
No, if that was your first job, that's the first time you got paid to do a job. That's it. So, was that the first time? Like, did you babysit in high school for other families and stuff?
In high school and even after that, you know, but we didn't consider them real jobs because you just did it when they needed you, you know, and stuff. But you did get paid for it.
Yeah.
The pay wasn't too much.
Do you remember a job after babysitting? Like, this is the first one where you've got to show up at a place every day. Do you remember that? What that job might have been?
Yeah, I remember that. And it was, you had to be there at a certain time, you know, and stuff.
What was it? Do you recall?
At the shoe factory.
Oh, the shoe factory. Yeah. Yeah, it was. I'm sure that was a rough one. Do you remember what you were doing? Were you on the
maybe the shoe factory was the first one, and I sewed the collars on the shirts and stuff, and it was piecework, and you just did it. You had to get a lot of shirt collars done and stuff, but you was timed on them. The machines, you had to do so many and stuff, and I had Bonnie and Brenda both then, and so I really wanted to be at home.
What about the fuel monument when you worked there? Wasn't that before the shoe factory?
Was that before that? Yeah, that was before that.
What job was that?
It was at the a monument company, and I did the stencil work on the engraved stuff, and you had to do it perfectly because anything, when they sandblasted it, any little knots or anything you had wrong really showed up on that.
Yeah.
And they were expensive things, you know. But the boss really liked my work and stuff, and so he would even go to his other store at Madison and leave me doing that stuff. So he wouldn't always check it afterward either, before it was sandblasted.
Oh, really?
Because he said I was so
Good
neat
at it,
and
yeah.
stuff with it that it was just really perfect.
That's good.
So I had a good job there for a
Yeah.
long time.
What happened with it?
I think for some reason, with the kids and stuff,
Mhm.
I guess
Need more flexibility?
I moved on.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was I was pregnant with Buddy, I don't know. But anyway, for personal reasons, I
Yeah.
quit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about, this is just your personal, like, experience or your point of view, how has communication within families changed? So, like, how was communication compared to what you grew up with compared to today, what you see? Do you think the communication was better because you guys did a lot of it in person, or do you think, like, today communication is so much better because of the technology that we have? Like, just within the family, this is like the communication you had with your brothers, sisters, your parents, opposed to what you see, like, maybe out of Jamie's family or Darren's family, family today.
There's a lot of difference in families and the way they were raised and stuff, and so when you intermingle with all of them, there's a big difference, and then what you learned and it stuck with you, you want to keep it the same, and stuff, and so it's hard to intermingle with some groups as you grow or among all of them and working and stuff, it's really different. But if you stick to what you want to do and do it, you can manage it okay.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. And then this is the last one in this category. What do you think has been the most significant invention or innovation or advancement in your lifetime?
I'll repeat that.
So what do you think has been, like, the biggest invention or innovation or advancement in anything in society in your lifetime? Like, whether that's how much cars have improved or travel or educate, whatever it is that you think was the most significant change in your lifetime.
Machinery and stuff, and cars, everything has progressed so much, that it makes it easier that you can do all the things you can do, because any factory that you work in has advancement in all the equipment that they have and stuff, and so all the modern advancements have been wonderful.
Yeah. Is there any one that sticks out to you that you think is the most incredible? Is there something, if I would have taken it back to your childhood, you would be just think it was magic or mesmerizing? Not just you, but everybody.
Since I worked in nursing and stuff, all the advancement in medicine and all the advancement in the doctors and everything has been the most
incredible,
amazing in my life.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, so now we've just got a few more to do, if you're okay. You've been here a long time. It's been great, so thank you. Well, this will be the last one. Okay, we'll end on this one. So, how would you want the family to remember you?
just I did take advantage of every opportunity that I had to make life and my kids' lives better, you know, and more productive and happy.
That's good. That's good.
There was a lot of improvements in everything, education and equipment and advancement in everything.
Yeah. That's good.
And the opportunity to get to do that.
Right. Is there anything that you want to add that you think we may have missed, or anything that you want to add that you just want everybody to know or remember? And if there's not, that's fine. But if we missed anything,
Got any advice for us?
yeah, advice.
You want to tell us that we need to do or
What would you
in the future?
What would you go back and tell your 20-year-old self right now?
I don't think that'd be a good idea.
I think you answered the question.
Yeah.
But I really think that I want them to, all of my kids and grandkids and great grandkids and everything, to do the right things and make the things important that is important, and they need to believe in God and do His desires for all of us and stuff, so that they can be happy and live a good life, and be honest and have good education and the things to have a good life.
Those are great words of wisdom, that's for sure.
I can't put it all in the right words.
No, you've done an amazing job, so thank you. Anybody else got any last questions? No? Okay. You did great.
Yeah, thank you,
You did
Mom.
great, thank you. It was so good, it was so good, thank
It's
you.
really
You
good.
did great, you did awesome.
But the main thing